In this video, I'm going to give an overview on the Get Records element in Salesforce Flow. Fun fact, your Salesforce Flow is not automatically connected to your Salesforce data. Your Flow has no idea what's going on in your org until you provide the Flow data. So how do we bring our org's data into Flow? That's where the Get Records element comes in. The Get Records element is how you pull information from Salesforce into Flow. So right now I have a screen flow open. So the purpose of this screen flow is to get all open cases related to the account listed on the opportunity record. So as you can see, we have the start element here, and then we have our get records element. If we click into the get records element, as you can see, I filled in all the information already, but let's run through each section to learn more about the element. So we start with the label, the API name, and the description fields. We then have this get records of this object section. This is where you tell the flow which object you want to search for records in. In our example, we selected case because we specifically want open case records related to the account listed on an opportunity. Next, we have this filter case records section. This is where we communicate to Flow which records we actually care about and we want returned to the Flow. If you don't add any filters to this get records element, Salesforce would bring back every single record in your org for whatever object that you picked up here. So in this instance, it would bring back every single case in your org, which is rarely ever what anyone wants. Plus, in larger orgs, you could very likely hit system limits if too many records are returned. So here are the two filters that I set. The first filter is the account ID on the case record needs to equal the account ID on the triggering opportunity record. So if I'm on an opportunity record and I launch the screen flow, I only want the case records returned that have an account ID that matches the account ID on the opportunity. And the other filter I set was the case status does not equal closed. This will ensure that all cases that are returned are in an open state. So the next section is the sort case records. This controls the order Salesforce returns the case records in. By default, this value is not sorted, but if we click into this pick list, you can see that we can select ascending, descending. If we click ascending, you're then presented with a sort by field where you can select a case field that you want to sort by. We're going to change this back to not sorted. Some examples of when you might use this section is if you need the newest record, you might sort by created date descending and pick the first record. Again, we're going to leave this in not sorted. If we scroll down, the last two selections you can make are how many records to store and how to store record data. For the how many records to store, this tells the flow how many matching records to keep in memory. You have four choices. You can select to store only the first record. This is good if you just need the newest or the oldest record after sorting. You can select to store all records up to a specified limit. This is useful if you want to cap the result to a certain number, like return the 5 newest records or return the 5 oldest records. And then lastly, we can select to store all records. From my personal experience, I usually select all records because I typically apply filters that dwindle down the list to the records I need. And for the how to store record data, this selection controls how much detail Flow keeps from each record that's returned. So we have automatically store all fields. It's pretty self-explanatory. It stores all the fields from each record. You can also select choose fields and let Salesforce do the rest. This is slightly more advanced. You pick only the fields that you care about, which can make your flow run faster. And then lastly, we have choose fields and assign variables, which is an advanced selection. This lets you manually map fields into separate variables. It's typically used for complex flows, but it's not needed for a flow like this. In most flow use cases, you'll pick automatically store all fields, so you don't have to worry about forgetting a field that you might need to use later. So now that we've run through the Get Records element, let me show you what this would look like in the UI. So we're on an opportunity record, and here's the account name. If we click on the account, and we scroll down to the cases related list, and we click View All, we can see that there's 7 cases here. 2 of them are new, so 2 of them are not closed. If we navigate back to the opportunity, I've created an Open Cases tab just to show you what the screen flow would look like. So again, not the prettiest data table here, but as you can see, these are the 2 records that we saw on the account related list. So to summarize what we learned in this video, the Get Records element is how you bring Salesforce data into your org. It's one of the most essential building blocks in Flow, and you'll likely use it in almost every flow you'll create. So that's all I have for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.